Hi, this is the Eddie and Easy Show. I'm Eddie.
I'm Easy.
And today is the day before the big game, the Super Bowl. It's also the day that you have the NFL honors ceremony. So we thought it would be a good idea for us to give some of our picks. We won't be giving every single thing that they give and every single thing that they do when it comes to the picks. But this is our...
Like bow ties.
Yeah, we won't be doing the bow tie thing. We won't be, doing the red carpet thing. And we definitely won't be doing
Inviting Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, we won't be doing the, movie star thing.
No,
yeah.
We're not going to be inviting Seth Meyers.
So this is our first annual. It's the first time we've ever done this in the history of the Eddie and Easy Show. We're going to give you our picks for like Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, these sort of things. So this is the first ever Eddie and Easy Show NFL Awards Prodcast, all right? So we're going to get started with our picks, and what we're going to start off with is going to be Coach of the Year. So I'm going to go with my man for Coach of the Year first. And that's got to be Bruce Arians of the Arizona Cardinals. If only for his hats alone, I would pick this man. He has a remarkable Kango collection. I mean, he is so cool. Look at him. Look at the hat. Look how he's rocking the Kango, man. But aside from that, he is a top-notch offensive mind. His offenses, even when they have to go through the quarterback carousel like they had to do this year, 3 different starting quarterbacks. Your starting quarterback goes down. The backup goes down. Then you have to insert the other guy. And that was the only thing separating him from being, in my opinion, in an NFC championship game against the Seahawks or the Green Bay Packers. Because this guy had his team ready to play. The only thing that was missing was that missing piece was the quarterback position. Going through that many guys in one season and still getting to the playoffs. And still performing with excellence, to me, is a top-notch job. But then again, this is this will be a repeat performance for him if he won the Coach of the Year. Won it as the Indianapolis Coach of the Year when he was with the Indianapolis Colts, when he had to step in for Chuck Pagano when Chuck Pagano came down with cancer. So I love this man. I mean, I wish the Bears would have picked him over a certain person whose name we won't mention. You won't do it. Whose name we won't mention. so I knew you were going there. So I'm picking Bruce Arians because this guy, to me, exemplifies what a coach should be. Getting the best out of his players. His players will run through brick walls for this guy. He's not just likable, he's intelligent. And once again, look how he's rocking the Kangos, man. Look at him. Look at the cat, man. I mean, that says it all. All right. Who's your pick?
Pete Carroll.
Okay, so we picked Pete Carroll. Why are we picking Pete? I mean, there are many reasons why you could pick Pete Carroll. It's a good pick. Mm-hmm. But I need to know why you did.
Yeah.
Why did you pick Pete Carroll?
What you talked about with the Arizona Cardinals players, they would run through a brick wall for Bruce Arians. The Seahawks would do the same thing for Pete Carroll. Mm-hmm. And same thing with Bruce Arians. I mean, it's like neck and neck with Bruce Arians and Pete Carroll. Yeah. But before Pete Carroll came along, they were.
Yeah. Let's face it, they were a horrible team.
Yeah.
They were.
But as soon as Pete Carroll came, they were rejuvenated.
Yeah, they were.
And but this year, I think that they're in the Super Bowl again. Mm-hmm. And even they started off rocky on the first part of the season. Yeah. Then everything just clicked.
Yeah.
And then now they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they're both cool coaches. Yeah. Bruce Arians is like jazz cool, and Pete Carroll's like surfer cool, you know?
I mean, it's kind of funny.
Different types of cool.
It's kind of funny. Pete Carroll kind of seems like he's like 28 years old.
Yeah, he's a kid.
But he's older than Bill Belichick.
Yeah, 60. You wouldn't know that. 63 years old this man is. So, yeah. I think it's a great pick.
Is 62.
Yeah, I think this is a great pick. Pete Carroll's a wonderful pick.
And Bill Belichick's been coaching longer than Pete Carroll in professional football.
Yeah. But I think these are 2 good picks for Coach of the Year. So we're going to get on to the next thing, which is NFL Rookie of the Year. Now, you pick... Who?
Teddy Bridgewater.
There you go. There's Teddy. All right, go ahead. Tell us why you picked Teddy.
In light of all the Adrian Peterson thing.
Yeah.
And I still don't think that he should have been suspended.
Okay.
But after that, he's proven to be a really good leader, and he just seems really calm and cool. He seems to take control of the team.
Right.
And he's basically, with a broken situation, basically the best running back of one of the greatest backs in NFL history.
Yeah.
And he has to take control over it.
Yeah.
And so he did that really well.
Yeah.
And the stats, as for other rookies, might not be as good.
Right.
But it's
14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
But a leadership standpoint.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you who I picked for Rookie of the Year. Good analysis. I picked the same guy. I picked Teddy Bridgewater as well, too, as NFL Rookie of the Year. Now, we live in a quarterback-driven league. I keep saying this. I've said this many times. The NFL is a quarterback-driven league. And if that position is settled, it takes care of so many other things. And the Minnesota Vikings, probably more than most teams, needed some stability at that quarterback position. Teddy Bridgewater had some rocky games, had a good game, then had some rocky games in the beginning. But then by the end of the season, you could see him settle down as a NFL quarterback. Now, he was a rookie. He made some rookie mistakes in games. But I saw him make some veteran moves. And as the late Stuart Scott used to say, cooler than the other side of the pillow. This guy was cool. He was collected. He had command of the offense. Now, I know they scaled it down. I know that Noah Turner scaled it down a bit to, so he could, catch up. But what they asked him to do, he did very well. And he came up big at the end of games. And that's what you want to see in a rookie quarterback. You want to see not how you're going to do when everything's going well, but when the game's on the line, when we need you to keep your head, can you get us down the field, at least get us in field goal position, or even get us, in the end zone? I've seen him do that in games toward the end of the season. I pick him as the Rookie of the Year because there was no rookie quarterback. Maybe Derek Carr of the Oakland Raiders came close, but there was no rookie quarterback that I saw that had more command of the offense and had this veteran sort of attitude when he stepped in. If Teddy threw an interception, same expression. Teddy, expression didn't change. Teddy threw a touchdown, expression didn't change. Teddy just stayed cool. He was a level, and he is exactly what they needed. For the very reasons that you mentioned, when Adrian Peterson, who was not only the face of the franchise, but he's one of the faces of the NFL, he gets, not just suspended, but suspended in a scandalous sort of way. Now, we can talk about agreeing or disagreeing whether he should have been suspended or not. That's another issue. But the fact that when you take that big hole, crater-size hole, Grand Canyon-size hole on a team, not only from a leadership standpoint, but from the production on the field, when that person is missing and you have a rookie quarterback, my expectation is, okay, everything's going to implode. That did not happen. Teddy Bridgewater is a big reason why that did not happen on the Minnesota Vikings. And so I agree with your assessment. We both picked Teddy Bridgewater as the NFL Rookie of the Year. So now we're going to go to Offensive Rookie of the Year. And so this is where we differed a little bit. All right, my guy was Odell Beckham Jr. Please, oh please, tell me what player, rookie offensive player, distinguished themselves better than Odell Beckham Jr. has. In his first year, he has made catches that we're going to be talking about when they do the highlight reels, back 10 years from now, and they talk about the greatest catches. Just look at the one on the screen right now. This one-hand catch, this is... You can't make this stuff up. He also
set the Guinness World Record.
Yeah, and I watched that. I watched the film on that. He could have caught more. You know what happened?
What?
They ran out of footballs, and so he was tossing the same football back to Drew Brees. And so for at least 3 throws. So he could at least get 36 or 37 throws, catches, one-hand catches in 1 minute. Okay? So I watched the film on that. This kid, I mean, not a big guy. He's only about 5'11", a little less than 200 pounds. So he's not a big receiver. But
explosive.
He is so explosive. He is so elusive. He is so quick. And you can't coach what this kid does. So, hands down, I'm not just talking about, this kid could have been in the running for not just offensive rookie of the year, but offensive player of the year. That's how much he just changed the complexion of each game. They had to, everybody on an offense where Victor Cruz is limping, and Victor Cruz isn't as consistent. Yeah, and they lose Hakeem Nicks. And you know that they're going to throw the ball to this guy. You know it. And he still performs on the level that he does as a rookie. Hands down, in my opinion, offensive rookie of the year. And all made some wonderful catches in the Pro Bowl as well, too. Who's your guy? We know.
I thought you didn't look at the Pro Bowl.
I looked at clips from the Pro Bowl. I did not look at the game itself.
Right.
I have vowed to not watch the Pro Bowl anymore until they get off this ridiculous, neon suit, neon clothes wearing, celebrity, alumni, NFL player coaching trip that they're on. Get back to the way it was, and then, maybe you get me back. But anyway, you picked Teddy Bridgewater. You brought it up. I wasn't going to say anything. You brought it up. Teddy Bridgewater is your guy, right? Mm-hmm. Well, why not? Go ahead. You said, so many things.
Yeah, I did.
Why would he be the offensive rookie of the year, though, to you?
Same thing as I said before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For those who may not have caught the first 5 minutes, what did you say?
We're putting on...
Okay, I'm messing with you.
They can rewind.
I'm just messing with you. It's fun to do that. All right, now we're going to go to defensive player of the year, rookie of the year, excuse me.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're moving right along. We know why you picked Teddy Bridgewater. Okay. All right, you picked
C.J. Mosley.
C.J. Mosley. Go ahead. Tell us why you picked C.J. Mosley.
His stats are mind-blowing.
For a rookie, the linebacker position, yeah.
And it is so close to Ray Lewis's rookie stats.
Yeah.
I mean, almost exactly same.
Well, Brian Billett calls him Ray Lewis 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has more interceptions than Ray Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
And he's more of a coverage backer.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really performed. He's a playmaker on defense.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like a mix between Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
And one player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's just freakishly athletic.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. And you know what?
It seems like every play that he seems to be around the ball.
Yeah. He's got a nose for the football. That's for sure. Out of all the picks I had to make for different, awards, this was the most difficult because there were some great. I mean, when it came to offensive, hands down to me is Odell Beckham Jr. But when it came to defensive, this was the most difficult. I don't think you could go wrong with some of the top players when we talk about rookie players on defense. You had Khalil Mack. You had Anthony Barr for the Minnesota Vikings, who played outstanding football. You had Kyle Fuller, in my opinion, one of the, if not the best young rookie cornerback that came out in the draft as far as NFL-ready cornerback until he got hurt. But even then, when he came back, he played some good football. But my guy that I picked, because I think this is the engine that makes the whole defense run, I picked Aaron Donald, defensive tackle for the St. Louis Rams.
You know that I love them.
You look at this, now, some people say, well, he was on that line with Chris Long,
And that's why he was overshadowed.
Yeah, they'll say, well, because that's how he did so well. Well, the sports writers of America seem to have the same opinion that I had. They picked him as their defensive rookie of the year as well, too. So, when you talk about dominant play on the defensive line, I watched Aaron Donald in some games, give a dominant performance as a rookie. We keep, every year you get defensive tackles coming out of college, and they say, well, this is the next Warren Sapp, this is the next Warren Sapp, this is the next Warren Sapp. And I've heard that a lot. This guy comes the closest to being that sort of Warren Sapp, penetrating, get to the running back, get to the quarterback sort of defensive player. Got 9 sacks as a rookie. That's good at the defensive tackle position. I mean, 9 sacks. Now, once again, they can say, well,
with
Chris Long and, the other guys,
system as the Rams
and Robert Quinn, that system, what do you expect?
The system that the Rams play, Aaron Donald's more of a nose tackle.
Yeah, but you think about it, though. I mean, you could say the same thing about C.J. Mosley. He was on the same defense as, Terrell Suggs, Haloti Ngata, Amos Dumerville, these guys. So what do you expect? Well, no, he played good ball. I don't care who was around him. Sometimes it's harder to come in as a rookie and contribute when you do have these big name, big play making guys around you. So I think Aaron Donald did a very good job. I saw him, as a rookie being double teamed as a defensive tackle. He played exceptional football. And because my theory, my belief, that the defensive line is what makes the whole thing go on defense. And he played outstanding ball, and that's why Aaron Donald is my Rookie of the Year. So now we go on to the next award, which is Comeback Player of the Year. Now I went back and forth on this. I did. But it did come down to one player for me. And the one player it came down to, lo and behold, was the same player it came down for you too, Rolando McClain. Now, let's talk about this guy.
He retired.
Yeah, go ahead, come on. Right. Yeah, he retired.
He retired at 27.
27, he retires, played with the Raiders. Career looks like it's over, imploded, boom. Then he comes back with the Ravens?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he did all right.
Yeah.
Then he was a free agent.
Yeah.
Then got picked up by the Dallas.
Well, no, he retired at left the Ravens.
All right, retired 2 times.
Yeah, so he retired after he went to the Ravens.
Yep, and then Sean Penn gets injured.
Yeah.
Now
Sean Penn, that's like a,
Sean Lee.
Sean Penn is an actor.
Oh.
Okay.
I kept on doing it.
Bad boys. All right, go ahead. Rolando McClain. Yeah, keep going. Sean Lee goes down.
Yeah. And he basically comes in to fill in the slot.
You're right.
And then he gets 131 tackles.
Yeah, you think about it. Think about what he was asked to do. This is the Tampa 2 defense. Rod Marinelli is running the Dallas Cowboys defense. He's the man in the middle, playing the Brian Urlacher role. So that means you got to cover a lot of ground. I mean, not just make tackles. You got to do coverage as well, too. He did all those things pretty well. And when you think about it, retiring twice, people just thought it was over. Not just, physically for him, but he was getting into some off-the-field trouble as well, too. So people had pretty much written Rolando McClain off. Said, okay, it's over. Goodbye, Rolando. See you, don't want to be you. Okay, that's what they're saying about Rolando McClain. But now he comes in 2014, plays exceptional football. There is no way. Now, I talked about, off air, we talked about, Gronkowski possibly being, that comeback player of the year. But his story is nowhere near as compelling as Rolando McClain's. And I don't see how he doesn't get comeback player of the year at NFL Honors Awards. But he's getting it here on the Eddie and Easy Show. No matter if he doesn't get anywhere else, he's got it here. All right. Good luck to you, Rolando. All right, now we go on to the next category, which is Offensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year.
I thought we moved out of
If you want to be Massachusetts, Offensive Player. Okay. And so you picked, and I picked Marshawn Lynch. I picked Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. Now, some people will say, well, he's exciting, but how do you pick him as Offensive Player of the Year? If you ever watch the man run the ball, if you ever watch how teams have to plan against him, There is, in my opinion, especially when you factor in his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, there is no player, offensive player, in my opinion, that you have to mentally, emotionally, and physically prepare yourself more for than Marshawn Lynch. Because you know when he gets the ball, he's going to run angry. You know when he gets the ball, it's going to hurt when you try to tackle him. You know when he gets the ball, it's an insult to him if one player tackles him. You better have 3 on me. Because if one player tackles me, that's an insult to me. And no player, I've seen, especially in this last game, I know we're talking about, regular season. But look, I got to talk about the playoffs. You look at that NFC Championship game against the Packers, he took it over. At the end, in the second half of the game, he just plain old took the game over. Boom, boom, boom. Not just with running, but with receiving. He made some wonderful catches out of the backfield, and he ran the ball. And this guy gets first downs. You need 3rd and 2? Okay, give it to Marshawn Lynch. You need 3rd and 8? Okay, we'll throw it to Marshawn Lynch. Anytime you need a first down, he gets it for you. So, yeah, he trailed DeMarco Murray by more than 600 yards close to 600 yards when it comes to rushing. DeMarco Murray had over 1,800. He had about 1,300 yards rushing. Yeah, there's a big gap when it comes to that. But he only touched the ball. He only carried the ball 17 and a half times per game. DeMarco Murray averaged about 24 and a half carries a game. So he had as many touchdowns and had the same yards per carry that DeMarco Murray had. I don't know. In my opinion, I think he gets a bad rap because he doesn't talk to the media. Because it's about that action, boss.
And he's only there so he doesn't.
I'm only here because I won't get fined. Okay, so maybe some of those antics wear the media out, but when you talk about production on the field offensively, beast mode. Marshawn Lynch hands down. I know who you picked, so go ahead and tell us.
I want to.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just joking.
Go ahead and tell us who you picked.
Yeah. DeMarco Murray.
Why is it taking you so long? All right, go ahead.
I don't know. DeMarco Murray, I think that he was one of the key factors in that Dallas offense
turnaround again.
Yeah. This year it seemed like a flashback from the past with the triplets.
Yeah.
And I think that DeMarco Murray he had 1,800 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a broken hand, and still he played, and he still had over 100 yards rushing. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that he was overall dominant this season, and he was a key factor to why the Dallas Cowboys went into the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't think, in my opinion, you can go wrong with either one of these guys as Offensive Player of the Year. And you probably picked the popular guy who probably will win it tonight. Mm-hmm. He probably will win it at the NFL Honors. He'll probably win it. To me, though, there was just too much in key moments in games where Marshawn Lynch, everybody knew he was going to get the ball. Everybody knew that he was going to be the guy that the offense was going to be centered on or centered around, and they still did the job. He still did the job. So, yeah. But, yeah, you can't go wrong either way, I don't believe. All right?
I'm glad that we got past that awkward situation.
So now we come to Defensive Player of the Year. And once again, we picked the same guy again. We did. And who was that guy, Ezekiel?
J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt? Okay, so it's J.J. Watt. Tell us why you picked J.J. Watt.
He was a beast this year. And He had
said that last year too. Yeah. Season 2, yeah.
He had 20.5 sacks. Almost broke the NFL single season record.
About 80 tackles,
Yeah, and that's a linebacker amount of tackles.
Yeah.
And pass deflections. And I mean, you could not run on him, nor could you pass on him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we sing this combination of size,
athleticism.
I mean, Julius Pepper comes to mind, but then there's something that J.J. Watt has that I don't believe that when I watch Julius Pepper, I don't believe that he has. That J.J. Watt has every down effort. I have not. Have you watching ever seen him take a play off?
No.
This guy does not take plays off. I mean, he is relentless.
He takes extra plays.
He keeps coming. 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 So the 20.5 sacks, wonderful, brilliant. 80 tackles, wonderful, brilliant. Interception, and he got an interception for a touchdown. You know how long that touchdown was? 80 yards. 80 yards. This big 6'6", 290-pound guy runs down the field 80 yards, and he's not like running out of breath. You don't see the bear get on his back like you do with some defensive players where they're huffing and puffing into the end zone. I mean, it was like, okay, a day at the park for him. I mean, I don't think we've seen this sort of player ever. I think the closest you come to in the modern era, athletically speaking, is someone like Julius Peppers. But when you talk about effort and you talk about just playing outright relentless, there's nobody like him. He's second to none when it comes to that. All right, so that's Defensive Player of the Year. Now we come to the end-all and the be-all of all this. We come to the mother of them all, the most valuable player. The most valuable player. And let's see who we picked here.
I picked A-Rod.
You picked Aaron Rodgers.
Number 2. Nobody will take your A-Rod.
Tell us why. You don't have to. I mean, once again, he'll probably get it.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, but tell us why you picked Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, 38 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions.
Only 5 interceptions. That's unreal. I mean, but he does this year in and year out. Yeah.
I mean, he's done this so much that it seems regular for him.
Right.
And he does this almost every year, and it seems like it's a given that he's going to have the MVP award.
Right, exactly.
And he has one of the highest passer ratings.
Yeah, in the hundreds again. You know, so yeah.
110s.
Yeah, about 67%, completion percentage. I mean, that's very good. So yeah, I mean, I look at this pick, although he's not my pick. I look at this pick and say, if he gets picked, it's not like I'm gonna think, everybody else got robbed. How can you say that when you look at not just his stats, but I watch this guy play. I do. I watch him play. And it's like he knows where everyone is at. He knows where on both teams, not just his own team, the other team. And it seems at times that Aaron Rodgers is playing 1 or 2 steps ahead of everybody else. If not 3 sometimes steps ahead of everybody else. Elusive. I mean, you talk about it, and it's not just speed. It's not just quickness. It's like he knows. It's like he has spider sense or something. Like Spider-Man. Spider sense gets the tingling, and he knows where people are at. And he avoids sacks probably better than any quarterback I've ever seen. So, yeah, I could see why you picked an Aaron Rodgers, all right? Not my pick. My pick for MVP is the same pick for Defensive Player of the Year. And because you see my sign here, give defense some love here. Can we give defense some love when it comes to picking most valuable players? Can we stop picking pretty boy quarterbacks? Can we stop picking running backs? Can we at least pick a defensive player sometimes?
I've been doing that all my life.
I'm not talking about you now.
Oh, yeah.
Can we give defense some love? J.J. Watt becomes my most valuable player not just because of what he does on defense. He is a red zone threat at the tight end position now. You see how he catches the ball when he's playing on the offense? He plays like a tight end. He looks, I know what he's thinking in Gronkowski mind, but, okay, that's what he's thinking. This guy, hands down, to me, is the MVP of the league, not just because what he does on defense, but what he does on offense as well. He became a wonderful double threat this season. An effective player, not just a gimmicky player. He runs very good routes when he's playing the tight end position. He catches difficult balls. It's not like these lobs you see the good player get. They lob the ball to him. Oh, and everybody claps. Oh, wonderful catch. He was a linebacker and he caught the ball. And these lobs. No, J.J. Watt is high pointing the ball. Catching in the corner in his zone, dragging his feet like a tight end. Look, this guy just, to me, no player in the NFL gives me the sheer feeling that this guy's a football player. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. God bless him. J.J. Watt is a football player. Offense, defense, I don't care what. He is a football player. And he loves the game. I love watching. No one since Brett Favre has given me this feeling like a kid playing. He's a kid. And he loves playing the game. So I love J.J. Watt. And if I had the choice, if I had the vote to give, I would give him my vote for MVP, most valuable player of the NFL this past season. So now we're done with this aspect of it. And so now we come to a very fun part as well, too. Today isn't just the day that they pick the guys for, the awards in NFL. They also pick the guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame today, too. So, we got Morton Anderson. I'll do the first list. Yeah. You do the second.
I've named almost all of them.
And then we'll do every other one on the last one, okay?
Those guys were hard.
Yeah. So we got Morton Anderson. We got Jerome Bettis here. We're going from left to right here, ladies and gentlemen. Morton Anderson, Jerome Bettis, Tim Brown, my guy, Don Air Coryell, Terrell Davis, and Tony Dungy.
Kevin Green, Charles Haley, Marvin Harrison, Jimmy Johnson, John Lynch, and Orlando Pace.
Now we have Bill Polian,
Junior Seau,
Will Shields.
I don't know his name.
Mike Tingelhoff.
I can't.
Center for that great defensive. They were known for defense during that time, but Max Tingelhoff was a great center for the Minnesota Vikings during the Bud Grant era. So we have Ron Wolf and
Kurt Warner.
There we go. So now, let's say we only could pick 7 guys. Which 7 would you pick out of this vast array of guys here?
Jerome Bettis.
That's 1.
Tim Brown.
That's 2.
Don Coryell.
3.
Terrell Davis.
4.
Charles Haley.
5.
Jimmy Johnson.
6.
And Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner is 7. All right. My 7 would be Tim Brown, because I think he's gotten the...
Wait, did I say Tim Brown?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I would say Tim Brown because I think he's gotten the royal, I think they've really messed him over because, we can't let too many wide receivers in. If his career merits it, then you let him in. I think he should be in. Don Coryell, why he wasn't in sooner, I do not know, constructed one of the greatest offenses in the history of the NFL with that San Diego 70s and 80s San Diego Chargers team with Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow, John Jefferson, Charlie Joyner. These guys were, they were my favorite team at one point in time because I just loved watching that offense. I would go with Terrell Davis. He, to me, is a Gale Sayers type. A great football player who was dominant in the time that he played and whose career was cut short by injury. And this is where I give him a nod over Gale Sayers. Now, Gale Sayers, I know that's like blasphemy in football terms to say, better than Gale Sayers? No. Yeah, better than Gale Sayers in this regard because Gale Sayers didn't get to do this much. He was a great runner in the postseason. Gale Sayers didn't get in the postseason a whole lot. So, Terrell Davis is probably the most dominant back I've seen. Some people might say Emmitt Smith. I say Terrell Davis, and his And in the period of time that he played, was the most dominant running back in NFL history, in my opinion, in the postseason. He just flat out dominated in the postseason. So I would go with Terrell Davis. I'm going to give some looks. So that's 3. Tim Brown, Don Coryell, Terrell Davis. I would go with Kevin Green. No linebacker, including Lawrence Taylor, has more sacks at the linebacker position than Kevin Green does. I would go with Kevin Green. And I would go with Charles Haley. How do they keep doing this? You know what? This is going to happen to Marshawn Lynch when he retires, too. Because the media hates him, too. Because he didn't talk. He was the 80s and 90s version of Marshawn Lynch. I'm not talking to the media. And they've hated him ever since for that. And that, to me, is the only reason why a player like this is not in the Hall of Fame. It should have happened a long time ago. Charles, I feel for you, man. You should have been in there a long time ago. So give my props to Kevin Green and Charles Haley. Now, if I got to put a coach in, I would give the nod to Tony Dungy over Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was very good in that short period of time, but he left. He up and left. I don't care what you did. You up and left. You quit. Wasn't like you had a heart attack or anything. You had an argument with Jerry Jones and you left. Okay. No, you don't get in the Hall of Fame for that. Put Tony Dungy in, and if I have to pick from the rest, I wish I could pick more than 7, because now you get down to this, and I would, Junior Seau is definitely worthy of it. Max Tingelhoff is certainly worthy of it. Will Shields, offensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs, is worthy of it.
Were very good.
Yeah, but
Will Shields and I forget that other guy, also for the Chiefs.
Yeah. But from a sentimental point of view, Junior Seau should go in on the first ballot. He was just that good. Junior Seau was just that good. Tragic how his life ended. I mean, it saddens me even to mention his name still. I mean, I get choked up thinking about him. I love the way he played the game. And this is not just about sentimentality. His statistics merit him going in on the first ballot. The same way I would say Ray Lewis should go in on the first ballot. His statistics merit that he should be going in on the first ballot as a Hall of Famer. But from a sentimental point of view, I think he should have this. I think he will. I think you'll hear his name called. I can't tell you definitively about these other guys, but I guarantee you'll hear Junior Seau's name called tonight when it comes to finalists into the NFL Hall of Fame. Okay, that does it for our football segment of this. But if you have the time, and if you live in the area, I would try to check out a Minneapolis North basketball game. Larry McKenzie is doing some nice thing with those players there. He's got those guys playing. Now, he's somewhat of an overachiever, He's already won 4 titles. Is in the 300-win ball club, as far as 300 wins as a basketball coach. So I think he's a bit of an overachiever. So, but if you have the opportunity, check out the Minneapolis North Polars basketball team. And as he said, it's not just a game. So if you have a chance to visit his Facebook page, Coach Larry McKenzie, I would do that as well, too. So check out the Minneapolis North Polars basketball team. If you live in the area, and if you don't, if you've been within driving distance, I think it'll be quite the experience. All right. Also, we're talking about New Direction Music Incorporated. Would you check out and like the New Directions music page on his Facebook page? Has a nice roster of young talent. Even got some old school people involved in the music there. Ken Stone is trying to elevate music beyond what we are hearing and seeing today. I do believe that. I really do. And if we're talking about, some of the things, talking about lyrics that we're hearing, we're talking about our young people are not trying to say or do anything exceptional. He's doing some wonderful work with young people. Kier Jacobson, New Weapons for Christ. Danny Jacobson, Kier's sister. Martin Rogers here. So if you have the opportunity, check out and like the New Directions Music Incorporated's Facebook page. So that does it for us. You hear the phone in the background, right? That does.
I know.
So now we come to the part of this that we want you to what, Ezekiel?
Remember to learn more about EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and its symptoms. maybe you or loved one may be suffering from this rare and underdiagnosed disease.
And if you have the opportunity, visit these sites. The Facebook page for the Ehlers-Danlos Network, National Foundation, the Ehlers-Danlos Network, and Mayo Clinic's EDS page. So you'll have the opportunity, because we're going to be flipping through this kind of quick. If you want to just go back in the video and pause on this page and look at the website addresses, take a visit, take a look. This is something that's very important. Ezekiel and I, we both suffer from the disease, and we're thankful that we finally got a diagnosis after all these years. Maybe you fit in that category. Maybe someone you love fits into that category. Learn about it. And then, if you think you fit into some of these categories and you see the symptoms and you see those things, get yourself diagnosed. Get to a doctor and try to get yourself diagnosed, all right? So that does it for the Eddie and Easy Show. Now, we talked about awards today. We may not be award winning yet, brother, but we are still talking about awards. My name is Eddie.
I'm Easy.
And we say goodbye.